Hi, I'm Lucas, and I've been developing my very first game for 1 year. This is how it's gone. My game is called Nine Princes, and it's basically Cuphead meets a traditional pixel art RPG. You play as a skeleton warrior who explores the layers of hell, inspired by Dante's Inferno, and slays the demon princes who rule over each layer. In this video, I'm going to talk about the story of my game from the very beginning, so you guys can see my process of game development, and who knows, maybe it'll help some of you who want to learn how to make your own game get started. All throughout middle school and high school, I always wanted to learn how to code. My friends made games and talked to each other about it, and I always wanted to make games of my own and bring the visions I had for games in my head to life. Last year around March, I finally decided to try my luck, and I jumped straight into trying to make a game with zero knowledge after years of wishing I could learn. At first, I seriously had no idea what I was doing. I still don't know much, but a year ago I barely knew where to start when it comes to making a game. I drew a few pieces of concept art, and eventually, after a couple designs, I drew up this skeleton. I thought it looked really good at the time, but if you've been watching my videos for the last few months, you've seen I've really cleaned up the design. Over the next few weeks, I drew more and more art for my potential game. I was super excited that I was finally beginning the process of something I'd wanted to do for so long. I drew backgrounds for Limbo. This was my first idea, but I settled on a design more following this drawing. I drew boss designs for Beelzebub, the first boss that I was planning to put in my game. Originally, I was going to give him a second phase, but I couldn't figure out anything that looked good. The closest I got was this really weird maggot thing that he might have melted into, but I just don't think this would have really fit in my game. My advice to anyone wanting to start a game is just to start creating. Draw or write a bunch of things related to your idea until something sticks. When you find something you're really passionate about, it will probably motivate you to keep going. After a little research, I even found some free beginner-friendly coding software I could use, Godot. Everything was going fantastic. I was finally beginning my dream project. I can't believe I'm actually doing this. Yeah, I have no idea how to code. At first, I could pretty much just use Godot's pre-given codes for simpler things like player movement. I managed to put the player in my game, but at that point, I got stuck. I asked my uncle for some help with my game because his job is coding for a genuine weed company website, I'm not making this up, and he helped me with some of my player code. At this point, the game was actually starting to take shape. The player could explore Limbo and even talk to Aristotle. I forgot that the early versions of his face in this cutscene were kinda terrifying. However, at this point I hit another roadblock. It was time to put in the actual first boss, Beelzebub, and I had no clue how. I was able to build the gluttony level, and I remember spending several hours on a call with my uncle, trying to figure out how to make the player teleport to the other side of the screen when they ran off one side. I scrapped this idea later though because it felt like an easy way to cheese the boss and escape from a bad scenario. At first, Beelzebub only slowly flew across the screen horizontally and teleported across when he hit the other side. I remember being so happy when even this small thing worked. There was one incident where I didn't name a sprite sheet for Beelzebub, just left it image.png. And when I imported it to Godot, it replaced every tile in Gluttony with that sprite sheet texture, because the tile map was also just named image.png. Make sure you rename all your assets, guys. After several months of working, I finally finished up the Beelzebub boss fight. It's pretty simple. I might work more on it eventually, but it works for an early game boss fight. The worst part of the code was definitely the minion summon move that Beelzebub can do. It kept completely breaking everything, but after a lot of help from my friends, I made it work. At this point, after almost 8 months of working on my game whenever I had time, my game was truly playable, and I was really proud of all the work I had done. I had proved to myself that I can actually make a game, something that I had wanted to do forever. I had the confidence and the motivation to keep working, and that's exactly what I did. For the next few months, I grinded out my second boss, the final phase of the Minotaur. I won't go into too much detail since I already have a video on making this boss, but this one was even more ambitious than Beelzebub. For one, I had to make a walk cycle, which was very painful, and I wanted to do 3 attacks, not just 2 like Beelzebub. The art for this boss was by far the most time-consuming part. I still struggled with the coding a lot, but having one boss under my belt was already a big help. I also added some projectiles to this level, from the Minotaur attack and as an environment hazard with the fire raindrops. In the end, this boss went quicker even though it was definitely more complicated. Most recently, I added some cutscenes to the beginning of the story. Oh shit. Most recently, I added some cutscenes to the beginning of the story mode option to give the game some more lore, and that's where my game is now. For starters, I've already begun working on my next boss. The boss fights are going to be the heart of this game, so I really want to try to work hard on them so the game feels more complete. I have a lot more ideas, like making the levels more explorable with NPCs you can talk to, and maybe even different weapons and armor that the player can equip that give different abilities. But that's for another time. All in all, so far this game development journey has been one of the most rewarding and interesting projects I've done in my life, and I would recommend making a game to anyone looking to grow as an artist, coder, or storyteller. I think video games are so amazing because they combine so many different types of art, and when you make a beautiful game, it's one of the most immersive things a person can enjoy. If you guys like this video or want to support my game or my channel in any way, please consider subscribing. I'm really trying to grow my channel and I want to keep posting lots of videos about my game and any future games I make. That's all I have for this video though. I hope you guys enjoyed and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.